Hey guys, it's Julia, and for today's video I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. I'm doing this about halfway through the month. I'm currently filming this on August 13th. I have read a pretty big amount of books for the first-ish half of the month, I guess. I thought I would do this because my wrap-ups tend to be really long. My last one was 27 minutes long and they are my favorite videos to film, so I thought I should do them more often, and I've been reading a lot of books and I thought it would be better to break it up. And I don't know how much I'll read the rest of the month, but I should be able to do another one at the end of the month. Plus, if I can talk about one book for around 6-7 minutes, I should be able to, like, you know what I mean? It's quite hard doing wrap-ups to talk about one every minute when you have so much to say, or because you've done reviews where you talk about them for like 6 minutes to even 12 minutes. So it does get pretty difficult. So for you guys who like watch these pretty often, and like of course I watch them too, but just know it's actually really difficult to put your thoughts together in like 1 minute, at least for me. And so I have 12 books to show you, so I've read basically something a day. And yeah, let's just get into it. I hope you guys enjoy it. The first book I read this month was Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. In this book, we follow a girl named Libby Day, and she was kind of a witness to her family's murder. Her mom and her 2 sisters were killed, and the only people who lived were her and her brother, and she testified against her brother because she saw him do it, or basically something along those lines, and there was evidence pointing toward that he was the killer. So he got testified against and things happened, and now we follow her. That happened at the age of 7. Now we follow her when she's around 30, and she gets contacted by this club called the Kill Club, and they investigate an underground kind of crimes and that were unsolved, that they don't think that were solved correctly, and they contact Libby and offering her up money and things because she doesn't have much of that at the moment, and they try to convince her that maybe it wasn't solved correctly and that Ben may be innocent. So that's what this novel follows. I really love this. I do have a full-length review. I'll link it down below for you guys. I really loved all the characters. The story was interesting and it really kept you reading and engaged in the story the whole time. I did find just all the characters interesting, and the story was really interesting, and it was thought-provoking, and it was just really well done, and the story was really like up my alley. It was adapted into a film this month, but I couldn't see it because it was rated R, which sucks, but that's alright. So that's what I thought of that one. I give this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read this month was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This follows a girl named Laura Jean, and basically she writes love letters to guys that she likes and that she has a big crush on or whatever. She writes them a letter just to kind of, you know, get over them quickly, and just to put all her thoughts on paper. She stores them away, and yes, and then one day all these letters get sent out. There's 5 boys in total, and they all received the letters, and we follow her. I was really pleasantly surprised with this contemporary. It involved a huge family aspect, which I really appreciated, and I loved all the siblings and the dad and everything. I really just love following Laura Jean's character. She was really interesting, and if you're looking for something really light and fluffy and cute, I really do recommend this one. Don't take it super seriously. Like, it's not something to be overly analyzed, and I also did a review for this one too, so I'll link it down below. But it's not something to be overly analyzed or too serious about, but I really enjoyed the story, and it was really just wonderful, and I was really pleasantly surprised. So I do recommend it if you're looking for something light and fluffy and entertaining. Possibly if you're in a reading slump, this would be great. So yeah, and I gave this book around a 4.5 stars as well. Next, I read a graphic novel, and that was American Born Chinese by this author name, which I won't be able to pronounce because I'm not good with these kind of author names, so sorry. 3 different stories about 2 people and a monkey, and they're all going through their problems, and they're all doing kind of a similar thing. Basically, they kind of try to help each other in a way. It's really hard to explain, and we follow 3 different characters. It's really enjoyable though, and I really loved the art style, and it was really just well done, and I really recommend this for someone who's trying to get into a graphic novel. It's simple, the story is easy to follow, it's easy to understand, there's a clear message in the end, and I enjoyed it, so I gave it a 4 stars. And I also did a review of this with the next graphic novel that I'm going to be talking about as well. The graphic novel I read was Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, and this we follow a girl named Nimona, and she is a shapeshifter, and she kind of becomes the sidekick of this evil villain right here. This guy right here, she becomes kind of his sidekick and things of that sort, and it's really wonderful. Again, the art style is really unique and different, and I also did a full review with this one, also with American Born Chinese, so I'll link that down below as well. But yes, and I wasn't expecting the humor in this, which was something really enjoyable about it. and I really loved the characters. Like, I really loved like Nimona's character. I thought she was really interesting, and just the art style is beautiful. Like, all the characters look so unique and different, and I loved it. But our villain I wasn't too impressed with. I think it's part of the story that he wasn't that bad, but like in the same way I found that he could have been worse, and if you're labeling someone as a villain, I think he should have been worse than he was, but that also contributed, I think, to the point and the message of the story. But I really did enjoy this. It was entertaining, it was unique, it was different, and it really was just entertaining. And if you're looking for a really entertaining graphic novel, I highly recommend this one, and I gave this a 4.5 stars. Next book I read this month was The Fearless Life by Jen Franklin. Franklin. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this, but this is a devotional, and it's all about going through life and trying to live it basically fearlessly, which might be impossible, but it's talking about different ways to try not to have fear in certain situations, and all devoted back to the Bible. So it really is a full-on devotion, and it was really good. And it's like the fearless about your family, fearless about friends, fearless about having enough, fearless about people, fearless about failure, etc. And it was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't something to read in a day, which I did, but I really enjoyed this, and I will be picking up more devotions in the future because I did enjoy this, and I think it could help a lot of people. But I would recommend stretching it out for a couple days to fully absorb all the knowledge instead of speeding through it in a day. But I do think I really learned throughout it, but I couldn't give it a super high rating, and that's just because it's not the author's fault, but a lot of things in this were talked about as like your family, like your partner and your kids type of thing, and I was like, I don't got no husband and I don't got no kids, so how am I supposed to relate to this? You know what I mean? It was a lot. He was talking a lot directly to the adults as an audience, and I wasn't an adult. I'm not an adult, so I couldn't really relate to it that much. But yes, and I gave this a 4 stars out of 5. Next book I read this month was P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the second book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before duology, and I already talked about that in this, so I won't be sharing the synopsis of that one again. But this book is the following novel from that one, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a good conclusion. I would love a second book. By the way, if you heard that was like my finger like cracking against this. I would love a third book, but I did really enjoy this one, and I really love being back in the atmosphere of it and the family, and it was so wonderful. And it wasn't perfect, obviously, and we also got introduced to like another love interest, and yeah, but I am happy with who she ended up with, and I really loved all the characters. I loved Laura Jean, I loved Peter, I loved everybody, and I'm just really loving this, and I gave it a 4 stars. Next book I read was actually a manga, and that is Blue Exorcist Volume 3. I really did enjoy this one. I'm really enjoying this series so far. It's grown on me, and I'm really liking it. I do have one more volume that I own, but then from then on I'll see if I'll pick up more. Like, I will pick up more, but not right away because they're expensive. It's like $10 a volume, and there's like at least 16 of these, so it's a problem. It follows Satan's son trying to be an exorcist in the first volume, so yeah, but it's about that. So, and he like goes to like a school for it to become an exorcist, and it's really cool, and I like it. It's good so far, so I give this 4 stars. Next, I actually read a novella bind up, and if you could guess it, that was The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. I was really really wanting to get to this because it's like one of the last Shadowhunter novels that I have to read. I did read all of them. I just have to read the last Infernal Devices graphic novel and the Shadowhunters Codex, and I'll be good until the Dark Artifice has come out. But I really did enjoy this one. All the stories weren't perfect, like not perfect, but they weren't all phenomenal, and I did really like some of them, but some of them I was really just excited to finish, and I did really like a lot of things in it, and Magnus is one of my favorite characters in the series, so I was really happy to see him again. And yeah, but all the stories weren't spectacular or anything, but a lot of them I really enjoyed and had a good laugh and was enjoying time with Magnus. So yeah, this is a pretty decent sized book too. It's like 500 pages, so I'm happy I was able to finish it. But yes, this I gave around a 4 stars. Next, I'm so happy to say I finally read this, and I read Clockwork Prince, the graphic novel, volume 2. Not volume 2, what am I saying? I read the Clockwork Prince manga volume thing, graphic novel, whatever. And I did enjoy it. Obviously, everything felt very repetitive for me reading the novels and then going back and reading these. I do think they're good refreshers if you really don't want to reread the whole novel, but you do have more emotions and feelings reading the whole novel, obviously. But I did I don't remember Tessa being so annoying, but in this book, I really am kind of weird to pick up the next one because Tessa really ticked me off in these, and she's so annoying in the graphic novel. I don't remember if she was like that in the books. I know by the end of the series that I enjoyed her character, but at the same time I'm like, wait, did I really? I don't really know. But she really annoyed me, but it was nice seeing Jem and Will and bringing up all the thoughts about that, and I really like Jem and Will. Great trilogy, recommend it. And I gave this, I think, a 4-star. Next, I read another manga, and that was Attack on Titan Volume 1, and I kind of just picked this one up on a whim at the store, and I was just like, okay, I'll try this out. I know it's a huge series. I know there's like at least 30, I believe, and then there's like another one that has blue spines instead of yellow or orange or whatever this is. But I really did enjoy this one. Actually, I was really surprised. I really loved it. Was just really different, and I really liked the story, and it was really gripping, and I really did start to feel for the characters, even though the ending I was kind of like, what just happened? But I did purchase the second one, so I'll be getting to that one soon, but I did fairly enjoy this one and was pleasantly surprised, and I gave this a 4 stars. Second to last book I read throughout the half of the month is Impulse by Ellen Hopkins, and this book we follow 3 people. We follow Connor, Vanessa, and Tony, and they're all just in a psychiatric ward, and we follow them with their personal lives and what's going on with them. And I really did love this, and it's really uniquely written because it's written in verse, and it's about 666 pages written in verse, and it was really just really well done, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked the characters. I really liked just the writing style. I loved. I could really relate to a lot of these characters in different ways, and I can all relate to them differently. Some things I didn't particularly love, but I did overall really enjoy this one, and I won't probably film a review for it, but my Goodreads has all the reviews, and if you want to know spoilery thoughts, etc. But overall, I did really enjoy the story and was really surprised. And I do really recommend it, especially if you're getting into verse, because this was my first book written in verse. I think I'll pick up Crank by Ellen Hopkins, but we'll see. But I do own that one, so I'll get to it eventually. I really did enjoy this one, and I just enjoyed my time reading it, and I gave this a 4 to 4.5 out of 5 stars. Last book I read for the half of the month was Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick, and this book we follow a guy named Leonard, and it's his birthday, and he has a plan of killing his former best friend and then killing himself. So we follow him with that, and he has like a gun with him all day, etc. So he's planning to kill his ex-best friend, I guess, and then himself, and it's fairly short, and it was kind of like, I don't know if I really loved the beginning at first, but I did enjoy the story by the end of it, and I thought it was like a quick and powerful read. But I did feel some things like, I don't know, I really loved Leonard, and I really liked his character, but the story didn't grip me the whole time, surprisingly. I just kind of was like picking up what I did, but even though I did finish it in a day, like I finished almost something a day, but I did really enjoy this one, and I do recommend it. It was really interesting and everything, but I did have issues with it, so I can't tell you those because of the spoilery thoughts surrounding it. But I didn't love it or anything of that sort, but I did give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I just didn't feel it was anything like spectacular. Like, it was very good, and this book does have really good ratings, so don't let my opinion stop you if you want to read it. But yes, those were all the books I read throughout the half, I guess, of August. If you guys have read any of these, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on them and everything. I will have all the reviews I did for these books listed down below. Obviously, I didn't do one for every single book, but I did do a couple, so I'll have those down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'd also like to mention what I'm currently reading. I am currently reading It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. I am about 113 pages in. Yeah, 113 pages in. So I'm about a quarter way through. I'm hoping to get, maybe, I was finishing something every day, which probably isn't healthy of me to try to do that, but I'm hoping to get at least to the halfway mark, and then we'll see. But I am enjoying this so far, so I thought I'd mention that I'm reading it. I don't know if I'll finish it or anything like that, so I'm not making any promises, but I am currently reading this. So yeah. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you soon.